July 31st.
Which
All
has
right,
7
yeah, they told me, I don't know why they
7
lied
days,
to
bro.
summer
which
over.
is...
It's always the critical! It's always speed! It's speed! It's speed! It's speed! It's typesoul 2.0!
And then it's the same damn game with one like miniature update slapped on it.
Yep, Citrus, I just got banned. He put me in the doghouse, so I'm permanently banned.
Who are you talking to, bro? Yo, a nigga who talks to little kids is not gonna tell me shut the fuck up.
There are so many videos on how to cheese all of these bosses that it's pretty insane that none of them have been
game
hacked.
doesn't
This is like
work.
the
The
most
game doesn't
well-documented
work. There are
failure
100,000
of the
people
development
playing the game.
within the past year.
doesn't
That
work.
alone
That is how dry
the
it is
difficulty of
right
getting
now.
mode.
Roblox animation. Oh, it's so good.
Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect.
As we all know, typesoul isn't new to re-releases. The first original release happening in 2023, with the game falling off because the endgame content took your soul to complete. It shouldn't have been that hard to get Bankai. And the reason it was like that is because the game was originally a CC game. Now please, keep that in the back of your mind. And then guess what happened? When 2024 rolled around, they fixed a lot of the issues that led to the game's death. They added ranked, which allowed for a lot more replayability. They actually made mode obtainment tolerable. They also did drop consistent updates for a little bit. For the most part, I'd say they did really good for the first 3 months. Yeah, that's why I made that video. By the way, if you saw that video when it first came out, let me know in the comments, because you a real one, bro. I gotta know who you are. And just like last time, the game shut down due to horrible balancing, really bad updates, and overall just horrible decisions from the devs. Eventually, the player count got way too low, and the devs got insecure. So they did what they know best. And here we are in 2025 with the Hellverse update. The update that was meant to not only revive the game, but to actually address the concerns of the community while also solving many of the problems the game had. And they had more than enough time to do this. Remember, Hellverse took minimum 7 months. 7 months minimum. I think it was closer to 8 or maybe even 9. Either way, somehow they got nothing properly done during that time. And I'm just gonna go through a small list of the bugs that I was able to write down on release just off the top of my head.
Game wasn't able to be launched for the first 30 minutes of release. Wiping people's banks to 1, most likely due to this being planned but devs forgot to turn it off, caused things to automatically be set to 1 when they shouldn't have been. Ranked queue not working, matchmaking removed for 2 days straight due to this. Hell NPCs not spawning, making true variants unobtainable for the first few days. Can't speak with Blair after beating the Ring 2 boss, unable to invite certain people to the party, auto parry bug, been an issue since 2024, Bankai bosses breaking themselves, insane lag across all servers, random parts of Hell having holes slash flinging you, Dollhouse bugging people with its Z move, raids not working for 1 to 2 days, 3-player Soul Society servers, Waco apparently being completely broken or falling apart, the server list not working, and much more.
And there are so many more bugs that I could not touch on because, again, this was all off the top of my head. Like, I can even talk about how if you were in a wrong car, there was a chance that you were just immortal. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. But I don't want to focus on the bugs. That's why I'm dropping this video like 3 weeks after the release, because I wanted to give them a chance to handle most of it. So let's just move on from that whole topic. Even after getting matchmaking back up, queuing was horrible. Like, sometimes you couldn't even press the queue button when you joined a server. Sometimes you would just not be able to load into a match despite being queued. It was just a mess. But on top of that, just outside of bugs, there's no more server lists when there used to be. So now I'm queuing against people and I'm losing elo because I'm at 300 ping and can't do anything. There literally used to be a server list because of this problem. Why are we taking steps backwards? And this is just one of the times where they took away quality of life things within this update. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like the devs have like one neuron that connects all of their 3 brain cells to actually like come up with stuff. I don't know what bro, this update makes no sense. It's not even the worst of it. It's a little better now, but on release for a week straight, the loot was some of the worst you could possibly get. I'm getting straight hollow boxes, a whole bunch of elixirs, bro, just straight trash loot. And they did this after wiping most of people's really rare items that they grinded for. And this just seemed to all be an attempt at trying to make items that used to be rare again, which is just like the worst way you could have possibly done it. At the end of the day, this change, the people it affects the most is the people trying to get into the game, the new players. But now they're getting stomped on by people who already have their skill boxes, already have essences. You're just making it harder for those new players to get into the game. I don't even think the ranked shop was a bad idea in the first place. I just think it was poorly executed. If they just made things less RNG based, made it so you can buy like some essences, some skill boxes specifically with your points at a set price instead of RNG, that would have been way better. Let me like get to the mental age of these developers real quick. Hello, typesoul devs. Here's what you guys can do instead of making your ranked system so damn garbage, okay? Bring back the server list. If you want to, completely optional. If you wanted to bring back the ranked shop, just go ahead and make things like cosmetic rolls and stuff like that. That can be RNG with con, okay? No problem. But you can actually make things like essences purchasable with some, I don't know, ranked points, maybe even con. Make con a universal thing, you know? That's just my take though. That is all. Will that get through their thick skulls or what? The whole ranked experience is just so monotonous and so boring. I can't stomach playing it for more than an hour. And I haven't even brought up Fullbringers and how broken they were on release and how even some of them even now are really annoying. And how they're just handing out auto dodges like candy. We've already dealt with the wrong cars with their dodge variant. Now we got Nimble. Now we got Benihime. Oh, and don't forget Medic because it needed it. Let me shut up about ranked now. Let's move on. I think it's time to actually focus on what this update was truly about, and that's Hellverse. Now remember, the devs had 9 months to cook up content for this entire new part of the game. So remember earlier at the start of the video when I said that typesoul is primarily a PvP game? Remember when boss rushes were added and how hated this update was because it was so boring, and the only way to beat some bosses was cheesing them, whether it be getting in a circle with your friends and then wanting them, whether it means going to a part of the map where they would auto disappear. Clearly this game is not made for PvE in mind, yet the entirety of Hellverse is PvE. And I vividly remember telling my friend, I could even put it on screen right now, that if Hellverse is primarily PvE, this will be a horrible update. And again, what did the typesoul devs do? Solved no issues about PvE and kept it as boring as they could have. Come see, bro, took the words right out of my mouth, bro. I appreciate you, man. It comes to nobody's surprise that Hellverse is just not a fun time at all. There's nothing enjoyable about Hellverse. To be honest with you, once you complete all rings, which I'm gonna get into that issue in a second here, the only thing you're doing is going down for library. That's it. Maybe for Devil Trigger, maybe for whatever, you know, VOW NPC is down there, but you'll have to go through all the rings again, which, you know, I think is, let me just get into it. Ring 1, the very first ring you enter after beating Highway, which is an alright quest. It's nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. Anyways, in order to progress through ring 1, you have to talk to Tiger Sozose and complete a quest that tells you that you have to beat 120 mobs or complete 40 raids. Nobody is doing the raids. So here's where the first issue comes in right away. First off, this 120 kill quest is very repetitive. So what do they do to make this a more enjoyable experience? Well, of course they add like chest drops, special accessories, alongside other great rewards for just having a good time in Hellverse. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's typesoul if it was actually a good game. You gain absolutely nothing from killing these mobs. No money, no drops, nothing. You are farming these mobs just for this quest. Once you finish this quest, you have no reason to kill these mobs. On top of that, this quest is going to take you forever to complete. If you do not have a friend to sit in M1 these mobs with, you have to go a keto build on whatever race you are and just sit back and spam. That's all you can do. It's not fun. It's not engaging. It's just, it's boring, bro. It's boring. Keto is basically the only tree you can do PvE with. For example, kendo skills do not work on these mobs. Again, typesoul is not balanced around PvE. I guess you could also M1 them by yourself if you understand their attack pattern, but it gets very old very quick. They still take forever to die. On top of that, because everybody in the lobby is doing the exact same quest, NPCs die really fast. So if you join a group randomly and you're just M1ing, there's a chance that you do not get credit at all. So you're doing more than 120 kills. Some people might be doing like 200 because it just doesn't count. All right, so what do you do once you complete the quest? You fight the boss. The boss, very difficult. You cannot solo it. You need people to help you, or you just cheese the boss. Guess what people did? They cheesed the boss. And the same pattern follows through ring 2 and 3. There's no obnoxious quests for those, but you're just fighting a boss basically at the end of whatever you're doing, and it's just something that's basically impossible. That's why if you search up right now, typesoul Hellverse cheese, there will be a guide from 50 different YouTubers on how to do the exact same thing. Nobody, and I mean I've seen nobody, actually do any of the bosses legitimately besides ring 1. If that doesn't tell you something about these bosses, I don't know what will. So anyways, regarding the rest of Hellverse, which is the maze and the library, these are okay. The maze is very, very easy. It's kind of just a filler thing, and then the library is just that final step to get true Bankai and then also to craft things, which, all right, okay, cool. And one last step that I haven't mentioned. The biggest thing about this update that most people look forward to was the true modes. Sclaverize, Teresena, I think that's how you say it, and true Bankais. You have to complete all of Hellverse from ring 1 until you finish the library. So after doing all that, you think, okay, now I have my true mode, right? No, you have to go back to ring 1 and AFK for 25 hours to guarantee your true mode. Are we actually dumb? Like, what is this idea? At this point, I can tell the devs were running out of ideas to make Hellverse last as long as possible. A majority of your time in Hellverse will be spent AFK. That's just a bad update. There's no other way to put it. I genuinely cannot come up with a logical reason behind this idea. And you know what else doesn't make sense? Gatekeeping information for the update. And this is why I told you to keep the whole CC thing in the back of your head. If you don't know what CC means, I probably put it in the beginning, but it means closed community. These tend to be like super hardcore games that are super tight knit, and so things are secretive, things you have to figure out. You just have to interact with the community to learn things. But I'm telling you this now, when your CC game goes public, you can't just do that anymore. People aren't playing the game with that expectation. They expect to get into the game and to play whatever update you just dropped. Just take a look at the badges. Excalibur, only one person can have it, which in a CC game with like 300 people, cool. But you have 100,000 people playing this game and only one person can have it and nobody has it. The Almighty Shrift, nobody knows how to get it. Ancient Vasto, I think it's been leaked, but it took literally like a week of trying to figure it out for people to finally be able to use it. Light of Truth, Shadow of Doubt, we still have no clue what these things are. The Power of My Fist, the Yoruichi thing, God of Thunder, nobody knows. And the reason why the devs are being so hush-hush about this is because they don't want people to know that there's no content with this update, that everything can be done within literally less than a week. One problem that easily came up in my mind is that you have to do all of that again from Ring 2, right? You have to complete the Ring 2, Ring 3, Maze, and Library again. If you ever roll what you're on, your element, you have to do all of that again if you want to get your true mode. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. One of the main pieces of content that typesoul would release to stay alive back in the day was new elements. So what will happen now when people do not want to roll off their true modes for something that might not even have one yet and have to do all of that again and sit at their desk for 25 hours because they bug fixed a cheese that allowed you to step away from your computer while it was AFK? So now you have to actually sit there manually to, bro, it's so stupid. I can't even put it into words anymore. Nobody is going to care about new elements. Nobody. I know I won't. I'm not going to roll off of what I have. If it gets nerfed, so what? I don't care. I'm not doing Hellverse again. I'm actually sitting here and saying that I'm not going to do an update that took them 8 months ever again. How bad does an update have to be for me to never want to do it again? To me, it's quite clear that the typesoul devs have just given up. This update is nothing but just a shameful disappointment. I genuinely refuse to believe that the typesoul devs that breathe and walk on the same earth that we do took a look at this update and thought that it was a great idea. Now, of course, the devs are going to try and drop updates as time goes on to fix this up of an update they've made, but these fixes are just common sense. I think Hellverse needs a complete overhaul, and if this took you 8 months, God knows how long that's gonna take. And the game genuinely does not have much more left within it. At the end of the day, we all know typesoul is a Bleach game, but they are also running out of Bleach content. I said this before and I'm saying it again. This is going to be the next Shinobi Life 2. That's all I'm gonna say. And if I'm being completely honest, I have a severe case of typesoul fatigue. I do not want to hear this game's name anymore. I do not want to play it anymore. And looking at the CCU over only a month, I think we all know where this game is going to be in literally 3 months.
Bye, have a beautiful time.